I remember back in the day, I used to work at this gym, and I used to have a girlfriend actually, and she was a very beautiful, innocent, beautiful girl, and anyway, I don't want to say her name, but anyway, so I was dating this girl, and I met this guy at the gym, and he was one of those rock stars. Have you met those guys who are like getting laid all the time, and they look really good? And so my friend, this new friend, he was telling me about all these amazing sexual experiences that he was having. And here's me, I was in this relationship, and it was getting really, really, really boring. Have you ever felt like that? Like you're in a relationship, and you're just like, you just want to get out of the relationship, so you want to experience what it's like to be having sex with another person. I remember I was at a point where I would rather have sex with someone uglier than my girlfriend, or older, or anything like that, just because I wanted to experience a variety. Have you ever felt like that? And I think that's what the trick is. Every single time you're alone, we want to be in a relationship, and every single time you're in a relationship, you want to be alone. It's kind of like a madness. But anyway, so I talked to my friend, and he's talking about how he's having, sex and threesomes and etc. And I was like, wow, I really want that. Anyway, this desire keeps growing, and eventually I break up with my girlfriend after 4.5 years of a real close relationship. So yeah, I'm just making myself some coffee, so I just keep talking to you as I'm doing this. And basically, I decided to break up with my girlfriend, and I did. And then me and my friend, we started going out, and we started to just meeting a lot of people. I started to read books by David D'Angelo, and learning techniques from Mystery on how to be like this pickup dude. You know the feeling. And initially, I started to have some success. I actually remember I would go to the bar, and I had these notes on the questions that I'm going to ask these girls and the conversation pieces. So we would memorize things like, hey, let me ask you a quick question. I only have 2 seconds, I got to go right now. But let me ask you a question. Who lies more, guys or girls? Right? So stupid, so funny. And anyway, back in the day, it was really fun. And I thought I was doing, I thought this is the answer. I thought that's what I wanted. And, being kind of insecure in high school, actually a lot insecure in high school, and lonely in high school, I had all these insecurities that I was bringing to myself into this picture. So I was trying to overcompensate for all the time I missed in high school for not having sex. I was trying to overcompensate and have as much sex as I could, and I was going to use all the methods and all the techniques that I could to use to experience, sexual abundance. That's what I wanted. And I got to a point where I started to have some success. I was having a lot of challenges, but I started to have some success. Now, this eventually led to a whole other realm, which is another story another time, which is the path of drugs and drinking and that, which happens when we follow lust and we follow our senses. It usually ends up in a dead end, from my experience anyway. But anyway, what I was going to say is, so I started to have some success. But then what I discovered is that it was really very annoying because, you go to the bar, okay? You spend, you go to the bar, let's say at 11, whatever. You spend all night hanging out, talking to people. You get a bunch of phone numbers. Sometimes we go to 2-3 different bars, go to sweep the bar, make sure we get all the numbers we could, then follow up with all the numbers, and there is a group of girls who would go with one night stand. There's a group of girls who won't go with one night stand. So you have to follow up with the next day. And it's like running a business. It's like running a business, like getting all these leads and following up with them. And some of them convert, some of them don't. But it's just a lot of work. That's where the whole point is. It was a lot of work for me, okay? And by the time you would actually get to have sex, it was so late and you were so tired, you're like, I don't even want to have sex anymore. Like, it's like, I've been out, at, 3 a.m. and by the time you get to her house or my house, and it's like morning. And then the next day I'm tired and hangover, So it can get boring and ridiculous after a while. And what I come to discover is that, here's what I was going to say. There is a difference, there is something that I didn't know, and that is intimacy versus sexual experiences. I thought what I want was sex. I thought what I want was to get laid and just have a lot of sex. But having had that and having experienced with a lot of sex, I realized how unfulfilled I was. So I would have sex and it would become like work. So yeah, initially, here's what happens. Let's zoom in. Initially, you meet this girl and you're so excited to just bone her, right? And she gets naked and you're having sex and it's just like, yeah, whatever, it's just another thing. You know, it's like work. And then you're thinking, oh, should I, come now or should I come later? Or is this good? Is she, all these things going on, it becomes work. But what I discovered is what I really wanted to have, I hope you get this, is intimacy. What I really wanted to have is the feeling of intimacy. And feeling of intimacy is such a powerful, joyful thing. What it does to our brain, really, is it releases oxytocins and all these positive hormones, and it gives us a sense of security. It makes us believe in ourselves. It makes us so we actually have this positive, hope towards life. It makes us so when next time you wake up, you're like, man, I'm gonna create this, I'm gonna expand, I'm gonna grow, and I'm gonna help more people. And those feelings, that's what I really wanted, right? And that's not something I was gonna get from sleeping around with girls that I didn't know and I didn't have things in common with. Now I'm saying this, I'm not putting it in a way that you should not be doing that, because I truly believe that was a stage I had to go through. I had to go through, being a slut. I had to go through those phases to realize that's not what I want. So depending on where we are in life, and here's the point. There is no such a thing as, I don't think there is such a thing as, wrong or right. There is only actions and consequences. So depending on where we are in life, we may want to choose certain actions that are going to bring us more pleasure, and there are certain actions we want to avoid, right? So, I received a letter from this guy to my YouTube channel the other day, and he was talking about, Sean, if I'm not going to watch porn, have casual sex, and drink and smoke, then I might as well die. Don't you think like that? Yeah, wouldn't you rather die if you take away your smoking, drinking, casual sex? You might as well die, right? And it's funny because for a long time, I used to think like that. But just like someone who's been stuck in this island has no idea what's going on in the other side of the world, just like someone who never left India, I don't know if that's a good example, but let's say someone's never left India, they have no idea what it's like to live in the United States or Canada. When we're addicted to our life of misery, of casual sex, porn, and all this yuckness, negative, low energy stuff, drug addiction, we have no idea what life could be at its joyous, at its freedom. Now, am I saying it's not, we shouldn't be having sex because it's bad and you should be married? No, I'm not saying that at all. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to get married. But what I do say is that having intimacy or sex without intimacy, it's a complete waste of time for me. And what I mean intimacy is that feeling of when you like the other person for something beyond just her physical body. There's something about her that inspires me. She is maybe spiritually inspiring to me. Maybe she has, maybe we are mentally on the same wavelength, that we share the same values in life. And basically, it's like having a really, really good friend who we can just laugh together and have fun together, even if there was no sex involved. When that happens, and then having sex, then it's magical because it's fun. And then there's no attachment, there's no worries, and there's no bullshit, there's no lies. Like before, I used to pretend like I'm this guy, and I'm, like a lot of girls want to have, it's like a game with a lot of girls who want to convert the player into a relationship guy, and that almost never happens. And I used to be this player guy who was playing the role of, I'm about to convert to the relationship guy, So it was all this drama of the players going to convert and he almost does, but he doesn't quite. So, but instead now it's kind of like authenticity, and the truth is, when I meet someone and I want to be intimate with her, I actually don't know. I might marry this person. I might marry this person. I might not. I don't know. But one thing is for sure is I won't bullshit like I used to do anymore, and I find that it's more fulfilling. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful.